party is walking through a town, and the thief sees an official standing over there with a big fat coin purse attached to his belt. So the thief walks over and sneakily comes up and bumps up against the official and cuts the coin purse away. In 5th edition, he gets no experience for that. He didn't kill anyone. You're in the town, and a man comes up to the big barbarian and asks him, "I'd like you to do a little bit of work for me." And he says, "I have someone who owes me a debt. I'd like you to go and convince him to pay his gambling debt." So the barbarian grunts and goes over and stands beside the character and, you know, fumbles with his weapons, and as the man comes up and asks for his money. Well, the gambler decides, well, oh, guess what? I found an extra 5 gold pieces in my pocket. I'm sorry, I should have paid it to you. So he gives that. Barbarian walks away. Maybe the character gives it the what do we call him? The loan shark gives him a cut, and the barbarian walks away with just a little bit of gold and no experience. The party comes up to they're in a dungeon, and their entrance in there, and somebody comes up with a brilliant idea. Instead of going the normal way, they find some other way into the dungeon to bypass the guards, and they steal the treasure, which is a magical item. And they get it out without killing anyone or anything. And they get no experience. There's a problem here. And the problem is that experience is only granted for completing quests and for killing things. That's not the way original Dungeons and Dragons started. In original Dungeons and Dragons started, you got experience points for gold, and you got experience points for killing things. And if you found a magical item, you calculated the experience points for the magical item based upon the gold value of the magical item. Now, in 5th edition, they go, oh, magical items are worth so much that only low-level magical items have any value. And it makes it insane, because if I go and steal a magical item from a powerful magical item, or I go and recover a relic, we're talking about a relic now which has truly high value, that I can't sell it, and I get no experience points for it. So the solution is simple. It's a house rule. You go, I ignore that, because I go back to the traditions back in OD&D and AD&D where magic items had gold value, and where you were awarded experience for the gold value. The only reason I can see that there's only 2 possible reasons that I can think of why they took that out, why they did it. One was, we know that Wizards of the Coast was interested in Dungeons and Dragons Online, and they saw what happened with WoW, World of Warcraft, where you have the markets, and they didn't want to go that route. Why? I don't know. I could theorize. Okay, here's a conspiracy theory for you. Was it because of their leftist upbringing that they thought that pure capitalism that's in World of Warcraft is a terrible thing? Okay, that's conspiracy theorist enough for you. Or that they didn't want to go that route because they wanted to be different, they didn't want to think about characters buying and selling magical items in Dungeons and Dragons Online, because they know eventually there's going to be a push to take whatever set of rules we currently have and move them into an online kind of game, because that's what's happened with Dungeons and Dragons. So they wanted to make it purely lethal. But that's such a problem, because they reintroduced the thief. And what's the thief going to do? In essence, the thief doesn't get experience for what he does best. It would be like saying, oh, well, the fighter doesn't get experience if he kills anything because he's a fighter. And I'm going, the thief steals things. That's what his title is. He's a thief. So he goes out and steals things, but he gets no experience for it. Well, that was not the way the rules were originally written. You want thieves to get experience for doing the things that they do, which is steal things. And how do you award them experience? If they steal a magical item, what kind of experience do you give them? If they go into a town or things like that, it's the whole concept of non-lethal adventures, which is city adventures, which is why I believe some character players don't like city adventures, because, oh, we're not going to get any experience if we don't kill anything. Well, that's kind of stupid, because that means that, oh, I'm only doing dungeon crawls. I can't go in to the city and have an adventure where I've got to go in and solve some problem, solve some puzzle. Oh, maybe I get experience points for a quest. But if I see something happening there, I go and someone is falling, play the Superman role. Someone is falling off of a wall or something like that, and you catch her or him or it or whatever. You save someone, and they give you a reward, which is monetary. Well, it wasn't a quest. It just happened. So it makes it difficult for players to do anything outside of, I am focused only on killing things. That's the only thing that gets me experience. And I find that rather monotonous. So do a house rule. Now, it's not easy to do this with 5th edition, because they said, oh, you can't sell magical items. You got to throw that rule away too, because otherwise you have to have a value for magic items to give experience points for them. Or how else do you calculate it? You go back to the original Dungeons and Dragons in 1st edition, and you see that magic items have value, and that means that you could sell them for some fixed value, and that's what you award the experience points for. So if a guy goes over and sees some fighter has a magical sword, and here's a fun one: the fighter comes up and challenges the character with the +1 sword to a non-lethal combat for the sword. So you don't kill the guy, you just beat him up. If you win, you get the sword. If you lose, well, okay, you get a beating. But what happens is that you can do things non-lethal and have more fun, I think, that way than saying you have to kill things or you have to complete quests, which means that I've got to go find someone to give me a quest. I've got to do something. I can't be spontaneous going through a town and coming up with an idea that I want to do that. It also fits into the idea, it's as if you've read some of the fun stories like, was it 3 Yards of Dragon by Sprague de Camp, where the guy comes up there and at the end he creates a coach service, because I think that was the one that was because that was an interesting way to make money. Your party goes out and hires out as mercenaries to guard some treasure, some caravan going through the Badlands, and you manage to, just by how powerful, you intimidate the monsters from attacking you. No experience. I'm sorry. I just find that rather stupid. So change the rules. Do a house rule. You get experience for gold, you get experience for magical items, which means that you have to be able to sell magical items, or that magical items have a value. That's simple. It goes all the way back to original Dungeons & Dragons. That's the way it was written. If you like my video, press the thumbs up button. I'd appreciate that. Or if this interests you, you can always subscribe to my channel. There's a button right above. I look forward to hearing some comments. Tell me what you think about this, and I'll try and reply, and we can see if I'll do some more of these. Thank you.